Hello and welcome back to the CSG Engineering Society YouTube CAD video series. We are just going to now go over the 3D aspects of making a model. Okay, so continuing on from where we left off, we're just now going to go to the top left and click on Finish. And we're now going to extrude this body. Click here. And we're going to say that this body goes out by 15 mil, according to the sketch at the bottom left over here. And there we go. Now we have an exact replica of the shape at the bottom left. Okay, exact replica. So now we'll just mess around with the other features now. Okay, just so that we can learn them, because this body is now done as well. So we'll hide this extrude for now. Let's use revolve, okay? Revolve. Actually, before we use revolve, let's make a little change to this sketch over here, okay? Double click on it and create a new line. Specify that the distance between this line and this line is 100 mil. Press finish sketch, go to revolve, and as for the curve, select this curve over here, and as for the vector, select this vector over here. Okay, and there's your revolve shape. Revolve and extrude are basically the only two things that you need to know. The essential things you need to know to make any objects in 3D. Okay, every other tool that you have over here, like hole, edge blend, chamfer, shell, pattern feature, mirror, these are all just shortcuts of extruding and revolve. Okay, so we'll get to those now as well. Control Z, actually Control Y. We'll keep the revolve, but I'm going to hide it. Let's show the extrude back now again. Okay, let me show you the edge blend. Edge blend is basically a fillet. It works like a fillet. So remember how the edge blend basically made the fillet from the sketching nice and smooth. It does the same thing over here as well. Same with the chamfer. You can imagine what it will look like in 3D now as well. It's a 45-degree corner cut, like so. You can also specify the distance as well. So right now this is 5 millimeters. You could have specified it to be 2 millimeters and it would have cut less. Okay. Then there's the shell feature. The shell basically opens up a cavity on the surface that you click on. Okay. Like so. The walls over here, the walls over here, they're all 2 millimeters thick. Okay. We're going to cancel that to Control Z. Mirror feature. Let's see, mirror feature. Pattern features, mirror features. Let me show you one other thing. Datum plane. Okay. So you have your XY plane, you have your YZ plane, and you have your ZX planes. So these three faces. But you can also create your own planes as well by referencing some edges. Okay, so for example, I will say that I want my plane to be over here, but I want it to be parallel to this face, like so. Okay. And now what I can do is I can use the mirror feature now to then say that I want to mirror this body. Actually, I'll just click on it. Mirror this body with the chamfer and with the fillet. I'm going to mirror it across this plane line onto here, like that. Okay. As for the pattern feature, click here. You can obviously use the other types of pattern features as well, but we're just going to stick to the linear one for now. Click on this 3D body here, and we want to basically duplicate it along this line here, okay? So the line I'm going to pick over here, specify vector, I'm going to pick this blue line over here. And I can control how many counts it has, so 3 of them, how far away they are, let's say 100 mil, and click OK. Yeah, apply or OK. Like so, okay? There are more features, there's a ton more features. You can explore them however way you want, okay? And I just want to show you guys that if you make a hole by accident, you can edit, obviously you can edit it through the sketch, but you can also make a new sketch, go onto the plane that you want to work on, include the circle that was there by accident, draw it back in. Okay. Click it when it shows the tangent circle, okay? There you go. And now extrude this new sketch into your design. So let's say, so flip vector, there you go. Flip it, invert, so it knows that it wants to join together. It knows that it's going to unite. Okay? Apply, there you go. So now you've kind of like patched up that hole. Okay? What you can do, so over here, when this is inferred, it's gonna guess it, okay? But if NX is doing the wrong thing for you, you can specify, okay, you actually want it to be a cut. You can specify that it's actually a you're adding material, okay? So so using this one, you're gonna get a extruded part. Using this one, you're going to get an extruded cut feature. Okay, so this is what you would see on SolidWorks. So extruded cuts, extrude, they'd be separate, but on NX, it's combined into one tool. Now, finally, I'm not going to show you how to do draft. Finally, we're going to just go through some of the hole features. Okay. There's threaded holes, counterbore holes, and simple holes, and there's also countersunk holes as well. Okay, I'm not going to go over countersunk because you could explore this yourself. Okay, counterbore holes. Let's pick a good location. Let's pick over here. Over here. Okay. And this is not a standard measurement, okay? I'm just gonna put a random value. Don't actually do this for an actual project. This is just for me to just model it, okay? Hole depth is gonna be 30. So this is this depth over here. I can also drag it from here as well, by the way. Like so. Like that. 10 mil. Okay. So the reason why it's called a counterbore is because this bit of it, this neck bit of it, that's the bore. Okay? This bit of it. The rest of it is the hole, of course. You know, when you go beyond, that's the hole. But what you call this bit, this is the bore. There's also the simple hole, like so. You can also specify the size of the simple hole as well. So let's say this is 5 mil diameter. You can also specify the distance, the location is from another point. If you don't like how it's referencing this hole over here, you can get rid of this, and you can instead reference it to where you want instead. So place a point obviously for the location of the hole, and then reference the location of this point. So use include there, press OK. We're going to see that the location of this hole from this edge is 20 mil away. No, 10 mil away. We're going to see that the distance from this hole to this edge over here is 30 mil. And we'll click finish there. That's the location of our hole. And apply. There you go, that's our hole there. That's a simple hole, okay? So there's nothing, there's no threads on it, it's just a simple hole, okay? And then finally, actually let's quickly go to counterboard over here. Let's quickly give it a location, because we didn't give it a location earlier. We just threw one by default. Let's go to the sketch. Get rid of this. I don't like how I was referencing that corner over there. I want to reference this corner instead, okay? So this edge over here, this edge over here, apply, give it a point somewhere here, and now let's reference this point over here, okay? So this point is going to be 10 mil away from this edge, and then this point is going to be 20 mil away from this edge. Finished. Okay, and give me a second. Okay, so once you've located it, you'll just have to press OK. There you go, that's your counterboard hole located as well. And finally, we have the hole. We're going to use a threaded hole, okay? Now, a threaded hole is the ones that are on screws. So the metal wrapping, okay? So like this. So these stuff. Okay? These stuff over here. These are threaded holes. Okay? But in NX, if you want to keep it accurate for engineering drawings, we're not gonna use a detailed version of it, okay? We're going to use a simplified version of it. And it looks exactly the same as a simple hole, but you'll be able to tell that it's a threaded hole based on what it says on the feature tree over here, okay? Actually, the image is covering up the information. Give me a second. Okay. So yeah, over here in the feature tree, it will mention that it's a threaded hole, and that's how you know that it's not the same as a simple hole, okay? So let's go over here to hole, and then threaded hole. We're going to pick a series from here. So the bigger numbers over here, M20, M30, it gets bigger and bigger. It's somewhat related to the diameter, but it's not exactly the same though, okay? M5, let's say, let's give it this location. And the hole depth and the thread depth aren't the same thing, okay? The thread depth will always be less than the hole depth. So the hole might go this far in, but the threading might only go up to here, for instance. It might only go up to there. So thread depth, let's say this is 7.5. Hole depth, let's say this is 13.5. That works as well. Specify location. I'm going to give it a location. I don't like these two locations, so I'm going to delete these two. Delete. I'll need a point to tell NX where my hole is going to be at. I'll need to include these two edges as well. Include. Press OK. And then I'm going to say that this hole is 10 mil away from this edge. And this hole is 10 mil away from this edge. Press finish. And there is our threaded hole. Boom. Okay. Now it's not obvious where the thread starts or ends. So if I just hover here, you can see with the dotted circle, that's where the threaded hole ends. The threading part ends. And that's it. Thank you. For the next video, we're just going to be going over visual materials and the Ray Traced Studio. Thank you.